Hey, what's going on? If you want to get a complete system that makes melting fat easy and is 100% automated, then I want you to go to the link that's on the bottom of your page right now. YouTube doesn't let me make that link clickable, so you're actually gonna have to type it into your browser, or I also put the copy of the link in the description, so you can click on that or type it into your browser. All right. For now, enjoy the video, and after you're done with this video, make sure to go to that link to get a complete fat melting system.
So fats are actually good for you. And what we're going to show you right now is a couple ways on how to eat fats and actually lose weight and live a healthier lifestyle. There's a big misconception that people think, when they have to lose weight, they have to take all fat out of their diet. Or on top of that, you'll see things at the store that say fat-free, and they think they're healthier. So if you want to lose weight, you still need to be eating fats, but it's all about the type of fats you eat and how you eat them. And also, the biggest key is also sticking to our 3 meals, 3 snack daily intake and following that rule as well.
Yeah, so the main thing we want you to know with fats is that obviously they're not the enemy. The three main things, the three main distinctions we want to clarify in this video is obviously what type of fats you eat, where you're getting your fats, how the fat is prepared. So a really big thing is when you put fats and you cook anything at really high heat, kind of like deep frying chicken or deep frying donuts. Or the reason that's not so bad is not because they're so high in calories, but it's because when you cook something at that high heat, the molecular structure actually changes and it produces what's called trans fat, which you might have heard of. Trans fat is what clogs your arteries. It causes oxidation. It completely takes your body off a balance. Your body has a balance of omega-3, 6, and 9s, and it completely takes it off balance and it starts to cause oxidation. So we're going to fix that. We're going to give you clarity on exactly what fats to eat, when to eat them, and how to prepare them. And as long as you're following the 3 meal, 3 snack program that we laid out earlier in this course, you're going to be fine. We just want to give you some distinctions and some common mistakes to avoid when eating fat.
So the 3 main fats that you're going to see on labels and you're going to hear about, and you might not know anything about, and it's good to educate you so you're going to understand and you're going to be able to eat fat, and stay leaner. There's one which is trans fat, unsaturated fat, and saturated fat. Now, trans fat we want to totally get rid of. We should never be eating trans fat at all. That trans fat, like Alex said, it happens, when you overcook at really high temperatures. On top of that, trans fat is all man-made. It's used in foods that are packed away for a long time, so it doesn't spoil as fast as as saturated or unsaturated fat, which comes from plants and animals. It's stored in packages, so we have to make it so it's not going to spoil as bad. So trans fat we want to stay away from. Whenever you see trans fat in a label, you want to stay away from that food. A common thing that's associated with trans fat is hydrogenated. That's a weird word for me to say. Hydrogenated, whenever you see that, it's associated with trans fat.
And a quick note on trans fat, there's actually loopholes in the labels where if something has less than 0.5 grams of trans fat per serving, they don't have to put it on the label. So just a common guideline is to avoid anything that's processed, anything in the bakery outlets, deep fried, or just all those desserts that they might not say trans fats, but if it has 0.4 grams of trans fat per cookie, because a lot of times it's just 1 cookie per serving, you eat 3 to 5 cookies and you have a serious amount of trans fat that will do some serious damage to your arteries.
That's a really good point that Alex said. And the best way to avoid this is, just like Alex said, stay away from the processed foods. And if you're eating pure right from the refrigerated aisle, like the meats and veggies and fruits, there's no trans fat in there. You're not going to get tricked in with the 0.5 gram label trick or anything like that. Second kind of fat is saturated. Now, up until recently, saturated they used to say it was bad for you. Saturated comes from saturated comes from animals, usually from animal meat and things like coconut oil as well. Saturated fat is really good for you. It's really good for your brain, your skin, a bunch of different areas, and you need to eat that, and that's one of the things you need to include in your diet. Third is unsaturated, and saturated forever has been known for being really good for you. That comes from plant and fish. You get it from things like salmon, olive oil, all different kinds of things like that.
Nuts, avocado as well.
Nuts, avocado, all those things you get unsaturated fat from. And those 2 kinds of fats, the saturated and unsaturated, are really good for you. And those are the kind of fats you need to include in your diet. And it's going to help keep you fit, keep you lean, and keep your body functioning at a high rate.
And in one of the previous videos, we talked about the bulletproof coffee, what I like to have, and that has a lot of fats. It has.
Hey, what's going on? If you're enjoying the video so far, do me a huge favor and click on the like button below. You'll get your good deed for the day out of the way. It helps me out a lot. Also, go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment. Something as simple as good video or I enjoyed the video. It really helps me out with YouTube. Alright, here's the rest of the video.
The coconut oil and the butter. And the reason why I like starting my day off with that so much is because it completely kills any cravings I could have for the day. If I start my day off with something that's sugary, that's going to spike your insulin. So what happens when you eat sugar is that your blood sugar goes down, goes up, and then insulin gets released in order to balance your blood sugar again. So fats doesn't have a significant effect on your blood sugar, obviously, because it's fats. So no insulin gets released. And if you have that bulletproof coffee, it's with all those fats, it gives you really sustainable, clean energy.
There's no really, like you said, no spike, right? It's
Yeah.
staying pretty smooth. You know, it gets your blood, like Alex said, gets it up, but you stay smooth with it, so you know you never see like a crazy drop in your blood sugar, and that's the crazy drop is what makes you crave again or crave whatever you ate, because you know you go up and then you have a down and you want to get back up again.
Yeah, so the fats really give you a sustainable, clean, smooth energy. If you have if you ever had sugar like Coke or anything like that, not cocaine but Coca-Cola, it gives you a really, a peak and then you crash. Fats give you kind of like a smoother type of energy. That's why I really love that bulletproof coffee. If you haven't seen that video, or if you're not doing that yet, make sure you do it. I really, really get clean energy, and any cravings, anything that I normally do, that I normally used to have throughout the day, for whatever reason, all those fats, the coconut oil and that grass-fed unsalted butter, along with the coffee, really just completely annihilates any cravings I used to have, and gives me that sustainable, clean energy that doesn't have highs and lows. It's just consistent, really good for working, really good for thinking, and really good for losing weight and melting fat. So how do you stay away from all these bad fats that really clog your arteries and make you feel crummy and ruin your thinking? The easiest way is just eat foods that have the least amount of ingredients possible. Anything unprocessed, whether it's fruit, whether it's whatever it is, make sure it only has one ingredient. A really good test is if you leave something out for a certain amount of days, how fast does it go bad? So for example, if you leave meat outside, obviously it spoils. If you leave fruit outside, it spoils pretty quickly.
Compared to
a box of chocolate, like Chips Ahoy cookies.
Yeah.
They'll stay there for 18 years.
Or a bag of chips, or a fast food. You take any of those burgers from one of the fast food joints, the main four, and you put that on the counter. You're talking, we've said this before. It'll stay good for a year. It's packed with trans fat if it has that, and the ingredients in there are endless. You could look at a 5-page spread of the ingredients it has in it. So yeah, you want to minimize the ingredients.
Yeah.
One, to stop trans fats and keep the good fats. Two, I would say maybe doesn't go bad as fast. Doesn't go bad as fast. So if you can put it in the fridge, it goes bad in a couple days, or you can put it on the counter, it goes bad in a couple days. It has less. It doesn't have any trans fat in there, or it has good fats or saturated, unsaturated fats that are going to spoil quickly.
Yeah, the reason they put those trans fats in there and why they put all those hydrogenated oils is because it gives it a longer shelf life, right? They're just trying to increase profits, not necessarily to increase your health, right? So anything that's boxed, anything that really has, that's in a box, even if it says 0 trans fat, remember there's loopholes and there's a lot of greed and scam going on in the food industry where they don't have to say what's exactly in the food. And even something that says natural flavors is one of the ingredients. I read that could mean a whole variety of things. Just because it says natural flavors, they're constantly trying to trick you. So the best way to not get tricked is just don't eat anything that's in a box. Don't eat anything that has a list of ingredients that's more than 4 or 5,
and that right there, that sums it up. That's the easiest way to take care of it, and you'll make a huge improvement on your fat consumption. When we're talking fat consumption, we still want you eating fats. Fat percentage, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, is anywhere from 20% of 30 to 35% of your daily intake should be fats. So I always recommend right around 25%, put in the middle. So if you just follow those two things, the processed foods and things that spoil quickly, you'll make a huge impact on that. And as you can see, we're not scientists. We can barely say the word hydrogenated. We can't even say that word. We've done our research, but for you, if you don't really like like, trying to be like a scientist and understand, monounsaturated and polysaturated fats. You don't really need to. All you need to do is just understand. You want to limit the ingredients, keep it as low ingredients as possible with words that you can say, and on top of that, you want things that spoil quickly, so you know that they don't have any trans fat in them.
All right, so we'll have a little worksheet beneath this video with step-by-step instructions to follow to make sure that you're eating all the good fats, you're getting that sustainable, good energy from fat, you're eating healthy fats that aren't going to clog your arteries, and you're eating fats that are going to make you feel good, give you the sustainable energy, and really melt body fat. Ironically, eating fat can help you melt fat because it's not going to spike your insulin, and you'll be able to really feel the difference when you cut out all the trans fats. So that's it. Download the worksheet below, and we'll see you on the next video.
Hey, real quick, one more thing before you go. I want to make sure you know that there is no correlation between how hard you work and how much fat you melt or how much muscle you build. All right? There's enough science, enough data out there that there's absolutely no correlation between hard work and results. All right? There's a difference between movement and achievement. All right? If you want to learn my best tips, what I call the 5% hacks that allow you to get maximum results, maximum fat loss, maximum lean muscle gain, I want you to go to the link that's on the bottom of this page, or you can click on the link in the description. All right, you're going to get a complete system for melting fat in an intelligent and streamlined system. I'll see you there.